Dr. Sumit Aggarwal from India. He's a scientist and a program officer. He's from Indian Council of Medical Research. Today, he's here to speak about use of drones in healthcare and going to tell us about a case study from Northeast India. And to speak more about him, Dr. Sumit is working as a scientist in Division of Epidemiology and Communicable Diseases. He's an MBBS, MD in Community Medicine. That is very impressive. And he has published more than 50 research papers in peer-reviewed national and international journals like Springer, Nature, Lancet, and he has also contributed a lot in the field of COVID-19, its socio-behavioral impacts, and impacts on families, frontline, and healthcare workers. And he has contributed significantly to the formulation of various national guidance modules to COVID-19 as well. Sir, we'll be delighted with what you have to offer today, and please take over. Thank you.
Thank you, Satvik. I hope I am audible and visible to you all. And being I am a little bit odd man out in this group, like most of the people are from the industry and the academia, I am a little bit in research and government organization. So what we have is just a experience what we have learned from Northeast, as we started one of the first kind of vaccine delivery in Northeast. That was the most difficult areas of India, that is Manipur and Nagaland. So I will just show you a glimpse of the activities, how we did it, and what was our learning from that. So so all thanks goes to Ruchi and their teams, and they are organizing this wonderful sessions for us. And thank you for inviting us in this session. So I will continue with my presentation. So shall I present my, shall I continue with my PowerPoint presentation? So I hope it is visible to all. Can anybody confirm? Yes, okay, thank you.
Yes,
So
it's visible.
this initiative was acronymed as iDrone, and if you see the full form of iDrone is the drone response and outreach in Northeast. So when India was facing the COVID-19, so we were parallelly thinking like it would be difficult to deliver vaccine in Northeast, and it would be difficult. First vaccine we received on 16th January 2021, but we started this activity just far back from this date, and we started this activity in November 2020. Although I am a medical graduate and postgraduate, and I have experience of public health, but I was not at all drone guy at that time. And so our DG just gave us a task like you have to deliver a drone, you have to deliver vaccines in Northeast. So then my first question was, where is vaccines and where is the drone? Because that time India was not having any vaccine, and that time India was not delivering any vaccines from the drone. So we started from that point. That time India was not having any old drone rules. So as you all know, India is a large country, large geographical variations, so many things, and there are challenges. As this activity was started as a vaccine, how to deliver vaccine in Northeast in difficult areas, so we had a thought of it. So there was very few studies was there till then, and there was no example. So we planned this overall activities over the 1 year, and we thought like we should start with the some trials. So we conceptualized phase one of our study, and all you know is implementation. Before going to implementation, before going to present any feasibility, you should conceptualize the project and you should test it in the own controlled environment. So we conceptualized this concept, this proposal, this activity, and we did some trials in IIT Kanpur and CD Space Private Limited, and we did some of our initial trials where we run some trial dummy vaccines which we got from the Bharat Biotech. In phase two, we reached to Manipur, we got all the approvals, and then we did our second phase. So I will quickly go through this phase one. So you can see here we used hexacopter, and that was top loaded. And this here what you are seeing is the airstrip which is there in IIT Kanpur. So in brief, you can see all the activities here. So we did the testing and assessment of practicability of the drones for delivering vaccine for maintaining the temperature. Because before that there was no such kind of studies where we can say drones are capable of transporting vaccines safely in Indian conditions. So we received all the dummy vaccines. We set up all the ideal setup, and we used airstrip. We use everything what is needed as per the SOPs, and we checked like vaccines can be delivered through a can be transported through a drone, and there is no damage to their physical or chemical or maybe their potency effects aspects of these things. So this study was presented to the Ministry of Civil Aviation, Ministry of Health, and after that we got all the approval for the phase two of our study. In phase two, we selected two states. One is Manipur, second is Nagaland, and we were not so keen to select these states, Manipur and Nagaland, but the government told us like if you can do it in Manipur and Nagaland, then it would be example, and you can do it anywhere in India. So we started these task force with Manipur and Nagaland, and we through a long technical discussion, ethical discussion, Airport Authority of India, Air Traffic Control, DGCA, MOCA, and state health authorities and police department. We reached to Manipur, and we had discussion and meetings with their higher officials, and we expressed expression of interest to get drones because ICMR is a health agency, not the technical agency. So we were not having any kind of drone, but we had some experience, so we expressed expression of interest to get the drones. So it is not just a delivering of vaccine to the a difficult area, but this component was very well planned to see the feasibility of study. So we checked acceptability, adaptation, practicality, integration, and implementation. So adaptation, what do you mean by adaptation? When you are going to a one place, it is not just you have drones, you have vaccine, and you will deliver. There is a adaptation is needed at the local level, so your healthcare worker should be adapted to it, they should be aware to it. So we developed a training module. We trained the healthcare worker. Here you can see the glimpse of the pictures where our team is training and being adapted, like adapted to that environment, and training healthcare worker were having their apprehensions, their thoughts. So they were trained, they were informed about the activities. Second thing, the acceptability. As these drones were known as a war weapon till now, last 2 3 years, the scenario has been changing. So when we asked about people like you, if you will see a drone, would you like to use as a transportation mechanism? So they all have their apprehensions. So we also conducted acceptability study. We try to understand their perception, understanding, because only that we can rectify their acceptability, we can increase their acceptability to this thing. So we also conducted qualitative research with all the stakeholders at ground level, at the state level, to know their acceptability. Third thing is practicability. Like you have drone, again you have vaccines, but if it is not land things in that position, if there is no network, so there are so many challenges considering the land, island, foot, valley, hill. And what I have written is land, island, foothills, valley, hill, and these combinations. So we used all these combinations. We checked different types of time taken, weather conditions, medical goods availability. So all these things was checked. And here, what you are saying, the right, so seeing it the right side of the top, this image is very interesting. Actually, what you are saying is the landing area is not a land, because this picture is from the Umma of the Nagaland, and there was no flat land for landing of this drone. So we used a hexacopter type of drone, and this land is actually a roof of PSC, where this drone is carrying vaccine and it is delivering on the rooftop of the PSC. So this was very interesting experience. So we also checked about practicability. So when at the last of it, these things, we came to implementation, and you can see we tried the drones in different conditions: land to island, land to land, land to foothills, foothills to land, valley to valley, hill to valley, and hill to hill. All these combination we used in both state, and the ultimately the integration. Unless the program, whatever you are planning, it is not integrated with health system, you cannot use drone in healthcare. So we try to find out what are the lacunae, what are the gaps, and what are the challenges which will be needed to integrate any health system, which will integrate drone system into the health system, and what would be the mechanism. So for that, we did not procure any extra healthcare worker. We just used existing system, and we just don't wanted to put any extra burden on the system. So we did all the activities which were needed for the integration of this program. So overall, this is the chart where we can say like we delivered kind of tablets, syringes, vaccines, surgical supplies, different kinds of vaccine, different kinds of syrup. So we delivered a different kinds of variety. In all, if we can say we delivered, we conducted around 80 sorties, and there was a first time when drone-based medical delivery was conducted to land to island. Longest flight we achieved was actually Mokokchung to Twenseng. This was around 80 kilometers away by road, and it takes around 8 hours. We reached there in 30 minutes. We connected 20 centers of Manipur and Nagaland. We delivered around 21,000 of medical supplies, trained 70 healthcare workers in their interviews of 35 officials, and we also developed training modules and SOPs, which was recently released in Drone Festival of India. So overall, we covered around 7735 kilometers, and which was equivalent to around 2000 kilometer, and in terms it was like one fourth of the thing. We faced so many challenges, challenges related to drone operators, challenges related to healthcare worker, and we did operationalization mechanism. Like what picture you are seeing here, it is a this borderline area of Twinsang district in Nagaland, and here it was well supported by army, local officials, police official, healthcare workers. So here we developed a mechanism. We conducted our coordination with ATC, Army, Air Force, unit, and private choppers. So many things we conducted. So we used different kinds of drone, multi-rotor drones, fixed kind of drones, single rotor drones, and fixed wing hybrid VTOLs. So we these things we used, and we used most advanced type of transportation mechanism. By that we were able to see the our telemetries during the, but we also faced some challenges because there was no network, there was problems with the RF modules. Somewhere we got problems in getting Air India Authority of India's approval, ATC clearances, and public gathering. Public gathering. So this was the all in a brief from the Northeast, but this is not the end of the story. This is the beginning of story. As and recently we are starting the blood break transportation and for the quality and feasibility, and then we'll also do in South somewhere in Manipal frozen tissue specifically to cancer tissues, and we will do in Kilong, that is in just top part of Himachal Pradesh, where we deliver the emergency medications at the height of 13,000 feet. And soon we will be starting our activities with the TB samples in Yadadri district of the Telangana. So these are our agencies, other so many supporters from which we got support from the private, government, and the semi-government agencies. This was our team. So so thank you. With the in the interest of time, I'm just stopping my presentation here, and over to you.